Hello, today we're going to talk a little bit about how to sell someone on an idea without forcing them, without shoving it down their throat. All right. Wanted to change a little bit of the topic ideas for these videos that I've been posting every single day. And I wanted to give you guys a little bit more about how to, it's not really convincing, it's more around the lines of persuading someone as to why they should do something and why they should enforce the ideas that you're talking about. So I'll give you a little bit of a story example first. So over the past 4 years, I've been improving myself and I've been basically just going to the gym every single day. When I started, I used to go to the gym maybe like every weekend, and that's pretty much it. And then I changed that schedule to start going every single day of the week. So I went from going on the weekends to going every single day throughout the week. So Monday through Friday. And what I used to do is I think they call it like a bro split or whatever the fuck. It's basically just like Monday you do chest, Tuesday you do legs, Thursday you do arms and shoulders, Wednesday, Thursday you do fucking whatever, arms, and then on Friday you do back, and then whatever, you just repeat that. And so I've been doing that for a long time, and then I was like, you know what, actually I need to do every single day because I can. So I started doing every single day and just doing the exercises that I really wanted to do. Cardio on the weekends, maybe some swimming on the weekends as well. Otherwise, I would always just focus on going as hard and as much as possible to the gym, at least 1 hour to 2 hours. And then I actually started learning a couple things. So what I ended up doing is I ended up testing a lot of different exercises, and I noticed that I would be able to just cut the recovery time out. And instead of going there for 2 hours, 1 hour, I could go there for 30 minutes to an hour instead. So I would just do, so if, let's say I have 5 different exercises and I want to do 5 sets of each or 3 sets of each, and I need to take like a 1 minute or 2 minute break in between, what I'd do is I'd cut out the breaks. I'd take out all the exercises, so I'd have 5 different exercises, and then I'd basically do 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and I would circle back around 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and every single time it would be a different muscle. So like for instance, it would be doing pull-ups, doing push-ups, doing abs, doing legs, doing something else, and then I would just circle like this. And basically that's what I've been doing right now, and I've managed to cut down my time that I do workouts for while still keeping them high intensity to like 30 minutes roughly, maybe tops 45 minutes, which is very nice because it allows me to gain much more time throughout the day. But regardless, basically I'd been working out for the past 4 years every single day, and I'll give you a bit of a story on my dad. So my dad had joined, because I was born in France, for context. He was born in New Zealand, which is where I am right now. And so when he was 19, he decided to join the French Foreign Legion because he wanted to escape New Zealand and escape his not very comfortable, interesting world here. So he decided to escape and to try something new, and so he signed up to the French Foreign Legion, and then thanks to that he got a French citizenship. So he went to France, he met my mother, and they had me. And so for the next 30 years, he just didn't really exercise at all. Like, he just spent his entire life just either taking care of me or I guess indulging in not necessarily great habits and spending time with my mother and I. So that's pretty much it. And as of today, I came back to New Zealand roughly just before coming back. I started like motivating him, like getting him to to do more like swimming, more cycling, more all of those like super low key, I guess, exercises that you can do that are not really that hard to do. And then what we ended up doing is I came to New Zealand because I wanted to try my luck in the game of life. I wanted to just change the environment, get out of my hometown, and figure something out for myself. And so that's what I did. And he felt very inspired by that. And so he flew over to New Zealand and he decided to come back. And because he didn't really have any family left in France, so he decided to come back and re-link up with not only me, his son, but also the rest of our family here, which I got to meet as well, which is nice. But as soon as he got here, we started like basically I offered him, because I had a spare bedroom in my flat, so I offered him the spare bedroom, and so that way he didn't have to look for a place and we could split rent and would make everything much easier basically. So been doing that. And then one day he told me like, oh yeah, you know what, I see you going to the gym, you look really nice now, and I think I would really like you to show me how to do it, how to get into the gym and how to do the exercise, because I don't know what I'm doing and I've never really liked going to the gym. So if you were to just tell me what to do, I think it would make it easier for me to go and do it by myself after. And so I was like, okay, cool. And so we started like, during this period he was still looking for a job because he was transitioning over country. And so basically what we did is I just went to the gym every single day at the same time, and he would just come with me. So roughly the same time every single day, I would just go to the gym and we'd do the same exercise over and over and over and over and over again. And so one day he was like, and I was teaching him how to do stuff and how to have like good form and how to do the exercise properly and how to do things, and how you don't actually need to take rests or like small breaks in between sets. You can just do one and then do one and then do one and then boom, 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 and just crank them out really quickly. And so told him that, and now that he has a job, he actually wakes up in the morning and he goes straight to the gym, like without me, like all by himself. And it feels like really rewarding to see like somebody that I care about better care of themselves, just because I led by example and I did what I would basically preach to do to other people. I was like, hey, you need to get into the gym, you need to fucking do some exercises, like wake the fuck up, bro. And I used to tell them that. I told that to so many people, but telling people doesn't actually do anything. What actually moves the needle way further that I've noticed is actually leading by example. Is actually you need to stop telling people what to do, and you need to tell them like, hey, I've noticed I've been doing this, I feel great about myself, like I feel amazing, like it's completely changed my life, and I would definitely recommend it if you want to test it out. I've got a few tips and tricks if you want. I'm happy to help you. If not, then all good, like it's fine. Like just don't give me any advice on food or nutrition or taking care of my body, because I just don't want to hear it from you if you're not going to do that. And it's like, okay, fair enough. So the simple fact that I led by example by putting myself in the gym for the past 2 years, and then my dad seen my results and then be like, oh, I feel inspired, so I want to do it myself now. Then I basically managed to persuade him without even asking him to do it. That's what I'm talking about in this video. That's what I wanted to talk about in the first place, is that by leading by example, by telling people what to do, it just doesn't really work. By leading by example though, it actually changes the game a lot more. So for instance, if you want somebody to do something for you, they'll be more likely to do it if they think it's their idea. So that way, if you lead by example and you show them what's possible, and then you say, hey, I feel great, these are all the benefits, and you always talk about it and you feel great about it, they're going to be like, oh, I want a bit of that. And then it's like, oh, well, what can I do? Okay, well, maybe I can ask him, like, hey, can you help me? And then the simple fact that they ask me to help, or they ask you to help them, well, it makes them much more positively go towards what you wanted them to do in the first place. So there's a lot of things you can do. Like you can I guess the best message I can give you is, the best example is, you can lead a horse to water, but you cannot force him to drink it. And this is true with a lot of different things. It's true with religion. It's true with politics, political beliefs. It's true with, I guess, finances. It's true with the type of games people play. It's true with the kinds of people that people hang around with. And you need to put more emphasis on the actions themselves and less so on the words. So for example, another example would be, I talked about this in a couple other videos, it would be in the dating market. You've got, like, let's say you've got a relationship like a man and a woman. Well, if I were to take my own standards, for instance, for the relationship, I've got standards, principles, and boundaries. And if the woman doesn't respect those, then I don't want her to be a part of my life. And so what you need to do, if you want your woman to respect those standards and those principles and those boundaries, you need to put in more effort on the actions you do. So for instance, if she crosses a boundary, you tell her, hey, this is not okay, I don't want you to be doing this anymore. And you tell her in a very serious tone, and you don't laugh about it. All right? That's what you need to do. And so she needs to take it seriously. And if she does it again, you say, hey, last time I told you to not do that again, you just did it again, so I think we're done. And I don't believe in second chances, because you're going to keep doing this. It's a recurring pattern, a recurring behavior. So I don't think we can be together anymore. So I wish you all the best, and just take your stuff and leave, please. And by the simple fact that you presented to her the consequence of her not being in a relationship with you anymore because you didn't respect your boundary, she's going to feel a lot of pressure at that exact moment. And then it's her decision if she wants to choose to stay with you and actually respect your boundary, or if she doesn't. And if she doesn't, then that means it's just not the right woman for you anyway, so it doesn't matter. Speaking from experience. So at the end of the day, what you need to think is that your actions carry far more importance than your words. You can say a bunch of words, but a bunch of people are never going to believe you. But if you say, hey, come look at this, I don't think this is a good fucking thing that's happening, and then you explain to them logically, hey, this is what's fucking happening, and you integrate it within a, I guess would be an action or an a thing that would happen. Like for instance, if I were to tell someone like, hey, if you tell me to eat shit and die, I'm not gonna be your friend anymore. Or if you call me like, let's say we're talking to a black person and they say, hey, if you call me the N-word, I'm not gonna be your friend. But in that case, if you call him the N-word and he doesn't want to, like, he's not gonna be your friend anymore, he doesn't talk to you anymore, then that's a perfect example of actions and consequences. Because, and you need to stick to your fucking word when you mean this. You need to mean this. As soon as you mean what you say, and you say what you mean, people respect you far more. Like when you tell them, hey, if you continue pissing me off, I'm going to break your kneecaps. And they continue. And you break his kneecaps. Say, hey, I warned you. Now, I don't suggest anybody to break anybody's kneecaps, but this is a perfect example as to what you can do and you need to mean what you say and say what you mean. All right? This is very important. Because at the end of the day, if you want to make people do things, you need to mean it. You can't force them. You need to make the horse drink the water. How do you make the horse drink the water? Well, you tell them like, hey, the water's really nice. We're not going to have a lot of water moving forward on the path for a very long time, so you might get thirsty. So I really suggest you really drink some water right now. If not, you're really going to feel like shit further down the road. But hey, that's your choice. I can't do anything for you. I'm just suggesting, hey, I think this is the best decision to take right now. And if you don't think like that, then I can't do anything for you. I'm just one person. I'm not you. I'm not your conscious or your brain. I'm just here to tell you, hey, this is my suggestion, my recommendation. If you want to take it, good enough. If you don't, then that's up to you. And this is the exact same thing with sales. Now, sales is a bit more tricky because a lot of people force the sale. Like, they actually like stomp their foot on the fucking floor and like on your fucking neck and be like, hey, buy my stuff. And usually that doesn't really work, but sometimes it works if you actually know how to manipulate people. Now, I might make another video on the subject topic of understanding people's psychology and using it against them. But I don't want anybody to use that for nefarious reasons. So I might package it in a very, I guess, in a better, more positive way. I'll see what I can do, because I'm not really sure how to talk about it as of now. So we'll probably talk about it in the next video if you want to hang around with that idea in the back of your mind and subscribe to see more. So the whole point of, if you want somebody to do something that you want them to do, then you need to not only lead by example, your own life, you need to have exemplary actions. And the second thing is, you need to mean what you say and say what you mean. And you need to remember that your actions have far more weight than your words. These are the two most important things together, all right? And as soon as you've got those two things, then from there on out, you can actually persuade a lot of people in interactions. One last thing that I wanted to recommend is kind of linked to that human psychology thing, is that you need to put yourself in the shoes of the person you're speaking to. You need to have empathy, and I recommend you read some books about it, or you study it online, like how to be an empathetic person, how to win friends and influence people, or whatever the fuck. It's an okay book, but it's not great. I listened to an audiobook and it was quite fucking but whatever. It's still useful if you know how to harvest the lessons inside of it. Otherwise, I would recommend having empathy when you're talking to someone, being like, okay, hey, I understand you're this, and this from my perspective, blah, blah, blah. So an example I could give you would be, I was having a chat with this guy. It was a fundraiser, and he was telling me like, hey, how are you so inspiring? Like, every single time I see you on the street, you're such an inspiring person. You're so well dressed, you're so well groomed, you're so well taking care of yourself. You always speak in a very eloquent manner. You always make sure to, you feel so inspiring. And so I told him like, well, one of the things I actually take into account is I believe in my ancestors, and I think, what would I do today that would, like, whenever I'm doing something, I try to think as much as possible about them looking down upon me, or whenever I would die and go to meet them, they would tell me like, hey, this could have been you missed your potential, or this is what you did, you're a fucking disappointment. And since I don't want to live with the shame of the disappointment of like doing certain actions, then I just think to myself for a second, hey, what would so-and-so say? What would my ancestor think? Would they think they made a good investment of their own lineage, of their own descendant? Or would they think they fucked it up? you know. So that's usually what I think. And I told him like, oh, well, do you believe in God, for instance? And he said like, yes, I'm religious. And I said, well, when you die, do you think God would be proud of you when of all of the actions and all of the progress you've made so far? And he said, okay, that makes sense actually, because if God would be would be ashamed of you, you probably couldn't really live with that anymore as a religious person. And he said, okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So yet again, I'm not a religious person. I'm like somewhat spiritual, I guess, to a certain degree, but I understand like what religion is for, and I've never really needed it. I guess I've never really found that I need it to live my day-to-day life better. I guess I don't really know. I've never really heard a convincing or a compelling argument that it actually makes sense and it actually is true. So, in my own perspective, comparing both of those things like ancestors and God, or putting myself in his shoes and being like, hey, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Like, I'm putting myself in your shoes and I'm saying, hey, if you love God, if you want to make God proud of you, then you need to do this. You need to think like I do. And instead of saying, hey, you need to think like I do because it's the right thing to do, because nobody's going to fucking listen to that. That's what I'm talking about. So lead by example. Always think, mean what you say and say what you mean, and always empathize with others. And with that said, I appreciate every single one of you guys watching until the end of the video. Like, comment, subscribe. If you want to see more, just let me know in the comments. Happy to have a discussion. And it's a beautiful day. It doesn't matter if there's clouds behind me or in the sky or whatever, or if it's raining, or who cares. Like, the sun is still shining through the clouds, so it's a beautiful day to still be alive. And it's time to get back to work. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. See ya.